once you have chosen your theme for your slideshow, and then added all the pictures and got all your words in good shape and ready to go, there's just a couple more steps that we need to do to kind of put finishing touches on our slideshow. So two ways that we're going to create some motion in our slideshow is a transition and animations. Transition is what moves from how we move from one slide to another, and by default, Google Slides just has Google Present just has it go as click, and it just like appears from one to another. Okay, so if I click and click and click, it appears, and I can go back to the beginning of it. Okay, but we can make it a little more interesting than that. So if we click on transition over here, you can see there's some options for how we want it to move from one to another. So dissolve and fade and all these other things. So I'm going to try the cube and see what that looks like. And if I could click on play, it will show me that's what the cube transition looks like. Okay. Now here's where people are like, wait, I can't do anything to it. You've got to click the stop button because it's actually playing this for me. If I were to click again, it would show me what the next one looks like. But I click the stop button or click on it, and now I can get back in and I say, well, I don't know if I like the cube so much. How about the flip? So I'll play that and see what the flip looks like. And I'm saying, okay, well, the flip looks pretty good, but I wanted to go just a little bit faster. Maybe I wanted to go slower. My own recommendation is for all of this stuff, you generally want to go on the faster side because it tends to slow down your presentation and drag a little bit. So I would err on the faster side rather than going super slow with that, okay? So let's just take one more look at that and see if that looks like, okay, that looks like a pretty good speed. I'm going to stop. Now, I'm going to apply this to all the slides. You could go in on every single slide and put in a different transition, right? I could say, well, for this slide, I want to put in a fade, and see what that looks like. And each one could be different. It tends to make the presentation feel a little bit disjointed to do that, but if you want to have fun with it, you certainly can go and do that. Okay, so first thing we got to do then is put in those transitions. The next piece of motion that we're going to put in is an animation. And if I click on any object in my thing here, I can just two-finger click on it. I want to animate, okay? I can also, let's see, animation is, I forget which one of these is in here, but anyway, oh, there it is. So I can insert animation, but I two-finger click on it. So I got to choose an object, okay? So this is what I want to animate. And then I'm going to decide how I want that to go. So just like we did before, there's different kinds of transitions. So I can fade that in. This one has a lot more options on there, okay? So on this, I'm just going to have it fade in. Again, kind of on the fast side. And now I have a decision of when do I want to do it. Now, I could do it, I could click the mouse, but sometimes it gets to be a little bit overwhelming in a presentation to have to click, 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 click on every single thing. So I do a lot of this after previous ones. So as soon as that first transition has finished off, then it's going to come up and do it. Okay, so I'm going to play. So it does it. It comes up. There's a transition, and then it comes right up, and I don't have to click or do anything on it. Okay. If I want to mess with that one, I'm like, let's see, that faded. Yeah, that was a little fast actually on that. So I'm going to slow that one down a little bit. Hit play. Okay, there it comes up, and there it is fading in for me. So maybe I like that a little bit better. Okay. So on every single slide, I would like you to do at least one animation on every slide. So let me go to this slide because there's some kind of fun stuff on this slide I can do. So on this, I've already got my transition put in. We'll just click it and see that this one is one that I did a flip on, or a fade in. I guess I did it as a fade for that. What I want to do on this one, though, is I'm going to add some animation. So one thing I'm going to start with is, there's my head. I'm going to add an animation, and I want my head to fly in from the right-hand side, okay? And again, I'm going to do that after previous. We'll slow it down just a little bit so that it shows up, okay? Let's play that, and here's what it looks like, there's my head flying in on top of there, okay? Now, not only do I want it to fly in, but I also want it to fly out. So here is my flying in animation, okay? Now I'm going to add animation, and this time I'm going to fly out to the left, Okay, so that means it's going to go out this way. So it came in from the right, out to the left. Okay, and again, we'll slow that down so you can watch my head go away, and we'll play. And so, oh, I forgot to, yeah. So I forgot to change this because I don't want this one. And by the way, once I've used them, they kind of minimize themselves. So I'm going to maximize, get to everything. I don't want it to be after previous. I want it to be on click, okay, on that one. So I'm going to wait a little bit. So we'll play. Here it starts up. There my head flies in. That's all automatic. It's waiting. It says, okay, as soon as you're ready, click on it. And there goes my head, okay, heading out when I click on it. All right. Now, on a lot of these slides, we've got maybe a list of things that are on there. So it's here's 3 things I want to do. Here's all of my stuff that I want to do for different things. Okay, so I've got these lists in there, and sometimes when all that stuff is on the screen all to begin with, it's a little overwhelming. So sometimes it's good to bring them in a little bit of time. So I'm going to add animation with this. Okay, I'm going to have these fly in from the bottom, and I want them to be on click. And now I want to do this by paragraph. Because each of these are bullet points, when I click by paragraph, they're going to come in one bullet point at a time. And again, I leave it on click, leave it pretty fast, okay? So let's play this again. So slide opens up, my head shows up. When I click, my head goes away. Oh, that's in the wrong place. I'm going to deal with that in a minute. And now I want, these are my 3 reasons to go to Dubai. They got these crazy islands. They have the world's tallest building, and everyone is super rich, okay? So, and then when I click on it, that's all done. All right, now, I don't want my head to go away until after I've done this, okay? So I'm gonna click up here and actually click that. And I've got these little waffle buttons here on the side. I wanna move that animation in between. So I fly in, I do the 3 reasons, and then I fly out. So let's click play and see how that works. There I am, reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3, and click, and there goes my head, okay? Just a few other hints on these. So here's one, let's see, I'm gonna, just because, you know, we're doing this, I'm gonna add an animation. I'm on this guy, I am gonna fly in from the top, okay? And again, I'll do that after previous, slow her down a little bit. And then these guys over here, this is like just a lot of things on there to start with. So I'm going to add animation. And this time, I'm just going to have this whole thing that come in at one time. I'm not going to do it by paragraph. I'm just going to have it fade in on click, okay? And then I'm going to click on this guy here, and again, add animation and have it come in on click, okay? So let's play this and make sure it looks good. Okay, it opens up. I fade into my seat, and then I say, okay, so my outbound flight is this. I'm going here, 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 leaving O'Hare, going to Dubai. All that stuff is in there. I click again, and there's my return flight information. So you can see I'm not like, if I have all the stuff all at once, you know, no one sees me sitting in the seat, and it's kind of just overwhelming, all right? So having that come in one at a time is a good way to do it. I could actually go back and add an animation and say, you know what, I want this thing to fade out, okay, with previous, okay, so I played that, and now what happens is, it automatically goes in, I automatically get to my seat, I click once, talk about my outbound flight, and it says, but then eventually I got to return, and you can see that disappeared automatically, and I'm on to the next flight. Okay, so that's a fade out, the with previous. So when I click one thing, both happen at once. Okay, so go through and again, on every single slide, I want you to do some kind of an animation on that slide in there. Again, you can add yourself in or just bring up one thing at a time, whatever you want to do, but go through and put those animations in throughout that. Okay, and that is our last step in creating the slideshow. Next thing we're going to do is talk about how we're going to present it.